Hi, I'm Talia. I'm a psychologist and a survivor of anxiety and depression, and I'm also the founder of the Healthy Mind Project. You know, one of the worst things about having anxiety or depression or struggling with negative thoughts is that you get caught in these cycles, these vicious cycles of anxiety and depression and negative thinking, and it feels like you can't get out of them. You know, the cycle of depression feels like you're just constantly having all of these really negative thoughts about how crappy you are, how pathetic you are, how much of a failure you are, how no one likes you, no one understands, nothing's ever going to change, that you're such a burden. And you feel lethargic and tired in your body, you feel low and unmotivated, and you don't do the things that you need to do. You know, you stop doing the things that give you joy and the things that give you energy and the things that give you a sense of achievement. Why? Because you're depressed and you don't feel like doing those things. And the more you don't do them, the more you beat yourself up and the more depressed you feel. And I know that with anxiety, when I have been stuck in the cycle of anxiety, it's just like constant negative thoughts about everything that could go wrong in the future. You know, you chronically overthink things. You think too much about your relationship and what could go wrong. What could go wrong with money, with your career, with your health, with your family. You're just constantly in that worry cycle, and it stops you from doing the things that you need to do. It stops you from taking opportunities, and you feel stuck. You feel too afraid to move forward, which is really frustrating, and you end up feeling weak and powerless, and you lose your confidence. And it can be a pretty frustrating and really uncomfortable place to be. Plus, with anxiety, you get these really horrible symptoms in your body. You get that churning stomach and that nausea, or just that tension in your body and that sense of being on the edge, and just like something bad's going to happen, just that kind of sense of uneasiness. I get it. I've been there. I've had those negative thoughts. I've been plagued by those feelings of nothing changing and thinking like everything's going to go wrong and feeling low and sad and feeling anxious and frightened. I've been there. I get it. And I've worked with a lot of clients who were in that state, who I've helped move out of those cycles. And I've learned a few things, a few really important things from my own recovery and from working with clients, and of course from my own training as a psychologist. And here are those important things. I've learned that if you want to get out of the cycles of anxiety, depression, and negative thinking, you've got to know how they work. Trying to get out of the cycles of anxiety, depression, and negative thinking without knowing how they work is like trying to find your way to another country without having a map. You need a map, and that map is understanding how you're trapped in these cycles. The other thing that you need to do is know what to do with those negative thoughts. You know, instead of just being overwhelmed by them and controlled by them and having them ruin your life, you've got to know how to respond to your negative thoughts, and you've got to know how to deal with that inner critic, the one that keeps putting you down and comparing you to everybody else and telling you you're a failure. I know that you've got to do that to get out of anxiety and depression and negative thinking. And the other thing that I've realized is that we've really got to understand, we've got to get you understanding what to do when you're in that paralyzed, anxious, overwhelmed, stressed out state. We've got to give you an understanding of what the brain is doing in that moment and how that's affecting your body. And that understanding is so powerful. And I know that for myself and for so many of my clients, that alone has helped us and helped them step out of that cycle of overwhelm, stress, and feeling paralyzed and really, really anxious. And you've got to learn how to stop worrying. If you want to get out of the cycle of anxiety, you've got to learn how to get control of that overthinking and catastrophizing and worrying about the future, because I know it's ruining your life. It's taking you away from all the wonderful things in your life, in your relationship with your family, with your work, with your friends, in nature. I get it. I really get it. And that's what this webinar is all about. This webinar is about teaching you how to get out of those cycles of anxiety and depression, teaching you what those cycles look like, and helping you understand a bit more of what you need to do to get out of those cycles. That is so essential, you know, according to the research and according to my own experience. Just understanding that can be so powerful. And we've got to get you understanding what that inner critic is about, and what those negative thoughts are about, and what you need to do to overcome them, what you need to do to calm down in your body when you're feeling really overwhelmed. We've got to get you understanding what the brain is doing. We've got to get you understanding how those worry thoughts work and that overthinking works, so that you can start to take control, That's what's in this webinar. It is 100% free, obligation free. You are welcome to join. Those spaces are limited. So if you're interested in joining, make sure that you put your details in, and I will be sending you the information that you need to come along to the webinar. I am so excited to give you this stuff. Every time I give people this workshop, I walk away buzzing, they walk away buzzing, the feedback's beautiful, and I walk away buzzing because I know how powerful this stuff is, and I want you to have it. So if you want to come to the webinar, make sure you register below. Put your details in right now. Bye.